Hello, class. We are going to go over Chapter 1, The Changing Face of Business. This is an introduction to business, Business 101. Our learning objectives are as follows. We're going to define what business is. We're going to identify the factors of production. We're going to describe a private enterprise system in the 6 areas of history relating to business. We're going to explain the business workforce, and as you know, just by observation, how the nature of work itself is going to be different. It's very different in the 20th first century. We're going to talk about skills that I believe and what most people believe are needed for the 21st century manager, and they are vastly different from the past. We're going to go over some online characteristics that make a company admired. Some of the things that one company stands out versus another company, and it's far more than just what they provide in services or in products, but it's more deeper than that. And we'll go over some of the characteristics in this chapter. So, what is business? Well, in layman's terms, it's an individuals or individuals to come together to make a profit. They have some kind of activity they want to provide, a service or a product to others, and they want to make money from that process. I mean, this is a definition: profit-seeking activities and enterprises. But in the end, it's individuals coming together in some form of organizational structure for the purpose of selling their products or services for profit. And it is a very integral part of our economic system. Businesses make our economy work, plain and simple. It's a reward. Now, profit is a reward. That's no question about it. How we use that profit is going to be some of the topics that we talk about. Some of the things we use to pay our bills, but more or less, we also invest in future activities. But it's always a risk related to providing something to an external party for a fee. It's always at risk, and businessmen and women are willing to take that risk. And we'll talk about the characteristics of entrepreneurs later, but again, we've got to risk. We got to risk losing money in order to make money. And many of you already know the Fortune 500 list. There are major organizations. I would leave one other organization that you can identify with would be Facebook or Walmart or an IBM or Dell. These are huge organizations, been around for quite a number of years. Some of them provide services, some of them provide a product, and some of them provide a combination of the two. But nevertheless, these organizations are huge, and they make up this 500 major U.S. companies. Now, we are not going to be emphasizing so much on not-for-profit organizations, but you need to know what they are. They are business organizations, but their goal is not to make profit. Their goal is to meet a mission. Whatever that mission is, they want to meet that mission. And they do earn profits. They do utilize those profits, but they don't utilize profits to make their shareholders or their owners wealthy, to accumulate wealth, but they do that profit. They do make a profit in order to further carry out their mission. So their business like attitudes and their activities very much mimic a for-profit organization, but they are guided solely by their mission, and their mission could be several layers deep. But at the end of the day, they have other objectives for doing their work, for why they do their work and how they do their work. So there's a quite a big distinction between a profit organization and not-for-profit. So the bottom line is a not-for-profit organization needs to generate a revenue. And in generating revenue, you have to incur expense. We're going to talk about this when we talk about accounting a little bit, but for you to know, an organization that generates revenue will generate expenses to in order to earn that revenue. And a not-for-profit organization still needs to make money. They have to have money. They need to earn money somehow, to raise money somehow in order to achieve their goals. And their goals are mission driven. And like a profit organization, not-for-profit organizations are a very big part of the economy. They provide employees. They employ individuals to carry out their mission. So even though they are not for profit like an IBM, they still are a big part of our complicated economy in the United States. they talk about factors of production and use all these wonderful terms. What we have in order to, these are the factors that we have right now for producing revenues or generating services or products. We use natural resources, we use human resources, and entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs are individuals who decide they want to create their own business. They have that wisdom, they have that vision. These are visionary individuals who establish a firm of any size, of any kind. And we have capital. Capital is going to be more maybe agricultural type of things, or it could be very, very big manufacturing type of things. But we have capital items that are factors of production. Capitalism. I mean, everybody talks about capitalism, but what does it really mean? It's really saying that there is something guiding how people behave. They call it the invisible hand. It's pretty much guiding how the structure of the intercourse between the private sector or individuals and the businesses that generate revenues, services, goods, and employ individuals. So Adam Smith, he's the father of capitalism. Okay, fine, I can get with that. But his own words are, there's something behind the scenes, if left alone, guides the whole process of the economy, how we deal with making money, how we deal with earning money as employees or as individuals, and those forces should not be interfered with too much. Let capitalism do its work. Let the invisible hand that's behind all of the motivations and how it works, leave it alone. It does it on its own. It determines who owns businesses, the profits, and the resources that are generated. It rewards firms for their ability to serve their customers. Now, customers or consumers, they're both pretty much the same thing and are used quite often in the same context. But the main thing is the firm is around just to provide a service or a good to make a profit. They want to generate revenue at the most efficient cost, meaning the lowest cost or the lowest expenses. And the biggest part of the private enterprise system is the government's interference. Do not want the interference of the government. Obviously, we pay sales tax. If you're an organization that provides a good, you provide sales tax to the government for that. You do some laws that govern how you treat your employees. So the government is involved, but the involvement of the government is very minimal. If you think about the United States and other countries, the role of the government is there. It will always be there. And it's more of a protective thing, but it's very limited. And governments really don't want to get in the middle of private industry. There have been some situations where it had, and I think that was during the time of recession, when there's a very, very significant recession. The government will intervene to keep prices at a certain point, so inflation will be controlled, and employees will be treated fairly, and there will not be any abuse or human slavery. So there is some involvement, but it's really protective of the Americans, of people, of their resources, but not so much controlling what they do, how they do it, or ownership. And that's important. And competition. Now, we all understand competition simply because if we have something that we want to provide to someone else, we need to make certain that anybody who provides that same service, and we are doing a better job, have a better price or better quality of a product. Otherwise, our product will not be purchased. We're in a private enterprise system in a capitalistic economy, and competition is the meat of it. It guides everything. It really determines who stays, who goes, that type of thing. And these are just the rights of an enterprise. You have a right to own your property. You have a right to the profits of that company. You have the right to compete in a very fair and honest way. And you have a right to choose what your product is and who you want to sell it to. Entrepreneurship. This is just a breakdown of how many owners are female or how many are of the male gender and their educational background. It really has become a shift now more in the time of the past. Many entrepreneurs were not highly educated, but now we're starting to see that the population of owners are now more educated, and the highly educated are mostly or more so now are women. There's a lot of talk about what's going on in the economy, what's going on with people and their thinking and their vision and how they're trying to advance their lives through owning a business. An entrepreneur definitely takes risks, and that's just financial, but social and career. And there is also a profit opportunity. That's what they see. They are visionaries. I think the one word would be to describe an entrepreneur as a visionary, somebody who can see it. They have a plan. They know how to. They know what it's needed to get the firm to work. They may not have all the skills. They may hire people to have those types of skills, but they have a plan to achieve the success and for a goal of earning profits. And it is most certainly the most important fuel of our U.S. economy. As you know, entrepreneurs hire individuals, and it does provide services that people pay for. So it's constantly a flow of money going into the economy, and it's extremely good. And they are innovative. That's another key part of an entrepreneur. They have something that nobody else has, or they have to, or they want to use something or help you use something in a way that no one else has. They have innovative, creative abilities. The eras of history, we started in 1776. Primarily, it was agricultural, but we moved to an industrial revolution. That means mass production, cars, using machines to create those types of things. Industries and manufacturing goods, and the goods could very well be canned goods. It could be boxes. It could be furniture and fixtures, etc. Production, making things faster, making things much more efficient, more improved. And we also talking about in the 50s and the 60s. When we're talking about marketing and being able to cater to the needs of people and getting what they want and telling them what we can give them and giving it to them in the best way possible. And also in the 90s, we're talking about relationship. That only means that we're talking about people, how they feel, what matters to them, and how important they are to this whole connection. So managing relationships is very, very important if an entrepreneur is going to be successful. Plain and simple, we need to make certain that he understands how that works. Alliances and partnerships. Sometimes an organization needs more than one person to run it, and they need different skill sets. Partnerships are built on that. They align themselves with individuals who have skills that they don't, and they make use of that by creating a competitive advantage. Amazon is a great example of that. They know what they can do, but they know what they can't do, and they know how to find people who can do it and align them with their vision. And the reason why companies are being successful is because they find people who really care about what they do. They're dedicated. They have high quality production orientation. They understand the ability of competition in the global markets and have become extremely technically savvy. They know how to use computers of all ages. They are learning in school how to use computers and how important it is. The population in the workforce, obviously, we are definitely dealing with a lot of individuals who are over 65, and the baby boomers are hitting their peak. There are also the Gen X's, which is me, and the Generation Y who are launching their careers. We are working hard, and we are going to school, and we are competitive. So it's starting to become very, very interesting how it's going to work out for us. Technology is it for us. We know technology, we understand technology, but most important, we understand how important it is to see people are different. The demographics of people are not males anymore, not white males anymore. They're more of a variety of men, women, young children, different ages and ethnic backgrounds, physical and mental abilities. We are starting to see and reap the benefits of having a diverse workforce. It is great for us. It's great for global economy. It's great in every way. We have become so important to dealing with these issues of race and culture and identity and also skills, which in the technological phase that we're in, it's needed. Outsourcing and offshoring are controversial topics, and it's just a matter of companies utilizing services of individuals outside of their native country. It's good, in fact, for many, but it has caused some issues and conflict. But more importantly, we are starting to see how using different ways of getting the job done at the most efficient cost, using telecommuting, flexibility, and other things, companies are making much more money, and their bottom line is higher, and the employees are getting much more work experience in different ways than it wasn't available in the past. So when I end this chapter, I want to just mention to you that in 20th century thinking, we have to make certain that we have critical thinking skills. We have to care about our ability to lead and changing as is necessary. But finally, never forgetting the important part of creativity.